rolling.
Okay.
Okay. Tell me a time when love really radiated for you.
Okay. So I can think of many of those instances in my life, but one that sticks out in particular is my son was a junior in high school, and I know he needed to go to college, but we didn't have the money, to be honest with you. We just didn't have it, right? So I noticed that I was going to sleep every night worried and really just not sure what was going to happen, how it was going to happen. And then after that, my husband had a stroke. So then I was really like, oh my goodness. So I know, I'm a woman of prayer, so I believe in prayer, but I realized that either I was going to pray or I was going to believe that God was going to come through for me, that something was going to happen, some miracle was going to happen, right? So after finally noticing that for a couple of months, then I said, you know what, forget it. I'm just going to pray about it and leave it there. And I did just that. And after I did that, of course, I had to do some things in the meantime to kind of look up scholarships and find the money and things like that. But it seemed like miracle after miracle just kept happening, boom, boom, boom. Not just for that year, but the next couple of years. So long story short, my husband got better way faster than anybody thought he was, including the doctors. My son got scholarships, and that was incredible for me and for him as well, because it was a really trying time. But that is one of the greatest things that I could think of for love. But then in the midst of that, I noticed that, I had to do a lot of searching inside of me and find out, what is it that I believe? Why didn't I believe it at first? Why was I so worried? Why was I so concerned? And why was I staying up all night? Well, the deal was, as I was doing my personal development, I started learning what my beliefs were as far as money was concerned. I grew up with all these, what I would say, lack mentality or a scarcity mentality. With all these nice sayings like stuff like you can't afford a house. Hold on, I got to think of it, the name of it. What is it? It's like these crazy sayings, like you can't afford a house to live in or windows to throw it out. I can't remember. Just crazy. This hold on. Okay, so you can't stop it, right? Okay, so I'm sorry, I can't think of it. So yeah, just some crazy things when it like about saving money, like money was burning a hole in my pocket. So that's one disbelief that I needed to throw out the door, and you got to save money for a rainy day. Well, why would I save it for a day where it's raining, where things are happening bad? Why couldn't I believe just the opposite? But as I began my personal development, I started learning new things, and I decided I was going to retrain my brain. So I've been doing not only personal development, but I'm a certified counselor, right? So I said, I got to do what I'm telling my clients to do. I got to retrain my brain to think things differently. And so not only was I retraining my thoughts, but my belief about who I am, whose I am, and just getting centered in that. And so once I got centered in that, I began to do some other things to take me on a whole nother trajectory of abundant living, and believing that I could do anything, that I was limitless, that anything was available to me. It wasn't all about just I could have this or that. I could have this and that. I believe that's what an abundant mindset says, and that's how you live an amazing life, is you believe you can have your cake and eat it too. Now, I'm not saying, you can't have 5 different wives. Don't do that. But what I'm saying is you can have money, make money, save money, and let your money work for you, so your money is making money for you, that type of thing. That's my mentality. And so to me, for God to love me through all of that, and it was so many things I had to work through, that self-doubt and those negative thoughts and those self-hatred, bitterness, all of that stuff. I had to work through that, and once I worked through it, I started believing. I started I'm retraining my brain. I started believing that I could do what I was saying. So one of the things I did to retrain my brain is I said, I'm gonna make a video of I am statements, because I firmly believe whatever words you say after you say I am is true for you. And so I began to say, I am abundant. I'm an abundant thinker. I'm an abundant lover. I'm an abundant giver. I'm an extravagant, and I'm limitless, and all these different things. And then I ran across this poem, and the poem was the most, it gave me the most enlightenment I've ever had in my life. I've heard the poem before, but when I began to read this poem, it got so real to me. I was just like, yeah, it's true. I can do anything, and I am loved. And I'm loved so much that I can do anything, anytime I want, anywhere I want, because I am really limitless. So the poem, you guys have probably heard it on the key and the B, is the poem about fear, right? The thing I fear the most. So the thing I fear the most is not that I'm inadequate. The thing I fear the most is that I am powerful beyond measure. And when I began to read that poem and it came real to me, something came alive in me. My heart just lightened up. It's like all these dark areas in my heart became so real and so light and so true. I was in the bedroom by myself, I was just worshiping, but then I began to read that poem, and I began to read it out loud over and over until it became a part of me. So it wasn't just words on a piece of paper. It was words that lifted up off of that paper, came inside of me, and it became real. And so that's my story of love right there. It brought me so much joy. And when I say joy, I don't just mean it made me feel good. I don't believe joy is just happily bubbly all the time. Joy is that inner knowing on the inside that no matter what you're going through, it's going to be all right if you just keep going. Because, if you just keep going and you don't live in the past, but you begin to live in your imagination, it becomes so real. And so, long story short, I made a decision that I was going to change my disbeliefs and unbeliefs to something my limitless beliefs to something that was abundant believing. And I did that by making those I am statements. I am powerful beyond measure. I am limitless. I do have a light, and I deserve to let my light shine. I do have, gifts and talents, and I don't have to let my light dimmer because somebody else feels inadequate. I'm powerful beyond measure. I couldn't get past that one statement that says, I'm powerful. And then I remember the word saying, I have dunamis power. It's like that dynamite, that little bitty explosive package that just like you open it up and then pow, boom, there goes the light. So that's my story.